nam-myoho-renge-kyo, 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 nam-myoho-renge-kyo.
Hi, I'm Margaret, and today we're going to discuss a topic that I think is really important. We're going to talk about the warning signs that you're battling fundamental darkness. I think that's really important because these signs are not obvious and they can lead us into doubts and actually abandoning our practice. When you think about it, when we start chanting for a goal, we get into a spiritual struggle. We have a real choice. We can maximize our strengths or we can give in to our weaknesses. And just to kind of look at that, ask yourself, when I'm facing a challenge, do I turn and run or do I really face it and challenge it? If I'm facing adversity, do I complain, blame, doubt myself, or do I push through it? Or am I chanting without definite goals, kind of ritualistically, and not engaging in the struggle at all? Or am I making a full effort? Jose Toda, our second SGI president, was really quite strict with members who would come to him who were negative and felt they couldn't do anything. And he'd say to them, you yourself are nam-myoho-renge-kyo. So what did he mean by that? You know, for the first 6 years of my practice, I really didn't know what that meant. So I thought that this time I would just explain it. It means you have that power. So you have the whole power of the universe behind you. You're a Buddha. So how do we activate that power in our lives? We chant with faith in the Gohanzen. And that sounds really easy until those pesky internal obstacles arise. They're insidious, they're a part of everyday life, and if they're not recognized, they're dangerous to our practice. In the treatise on the great perfection of wisdom, they're called the 10 troupes. So let's just go through them. First of all, there's greed. Are we cutting moral corners in order to get something we want? We see people who fall into that trap every single morning in the morning paper. Do care and worry live in the center of your life rather than putting the Gohanzen in the center of your life? Have you cut down on practicing because of care and worry? Hunger and thirst can do it if they become really pressing, like people who've been living in the hurricane areas or Syria. It could definitely interfere with your practice in situations like that. Or do you have a love of pleasure that might pull you away from doing ganyo or going to a meeting? Some people fight a lot with drowsiness and languor during their practice. Their minds just drift, they can't seem to focus, and it can lead to being lazy and not getting in front of the Gohanzen to begin with. And then there are fears, which make us focus on what we don't want, not what we do want, and stop us from moving forward. Then there's a preoccupation with fame and wealth, and that can take over a person's life completely if they're not really careful. And one of the most insidious is doubt and regret. We come to doubt that we have this power within, and we doubt the Gohanzen. And if that can be a complete downward slide if we're not careful. So it's important to study, ask questions, get guidance, get those doubts resolved. Another one of these is anger. It's deadly for relationships, and we see people in courts and in prison because of anger all the time. And finally, there's arrogance and contempt for others. Looking down on others leads to denying the Buddha nature that exists in everyone. That's when people become a means to an end rather than their happiness being the end. So what can you do? Well, the first thing is to stay aware. And when you realize you're fighting with one of these things, chant about it. This is where your human revolution is going to happen. Daisaku Ikeda explains why it's so important to address these tendencies in his Clear Mirror guidance in My Dear Friends in America. And I am going to read you this quote. It's a long one, but it's one of the most marvelous pieces he's ever written, I think. And it explains it so well. The Gohanzen is a clear mirror. It perfectly reveals our state of faith and projects this out into the universe. There may be times, for instance, when you feel reluctant to recite the sutra or take place in activities. That state of mind is precisely reflected on the entire universe as if on the surface of a clear mirror. The heavenly deities will then also feel reluctant to play their part and will naturally fail to exert their full power of protection. On the other hand, when you joyfully recite the sutra, chant nam-myoho-renge-kyo, and carry out activities with determination to accumulate more good fortune in your life, the heavenly deities will be delighted and valiantly perform their duty. If you practice reluctantly with a sense that it's a waste of time, disbelief and complaints will erode your good fortune. If you continue to practice this way, you will not experience remarkable benefits, and this will only serve to further convince you your practice is in vain. This is a vicious circle. If you practice faith while doubting its results, you will get results that are at best unsatisfactory. This is the reflection of your own weak faith on the mirror of the universe. On the other hand, when you stand up with strong confidence, you will accrue limitless blessings. When you do so, both your life and your surroundings will open wide before you, and every action you take will become a source of benefit. Now, I'd like to summarize what we did today. Today, we looked at the 10 troupes, which are these insidious things that happen to all of us that can affect our practice. And we identified what they were and showed what we could do about them. Now, next time, our topic is going to be, how can I build my faith? Here are some other blogs that I think might interest you. The first one is, I've been chanting a lot. Why isn't something happening? The second, when I chant, my mind goes to my fears. What should I do? The third, do you know what the outer hindrances are to Buddhist practice? If you've liked this blog, please give it a thumbs up and share it with other people. As you know, I'm always interested in your comments and your observations. And thank you for sharing them. I hope you'll continue to do so. I'll see you next time.